Hey, good morning, everyone. Brian Hoops here with Midwest Market Solutions. This is our Market Insider TV. This is our opening commentary for Monday. It is July the 14th, and I hope you had a great weekend. Looking forward to today's trade and this week's trade as well. We're talking about the markets here. I'll be on RFD TV this morning talking about the markets as well as our video here. So hope you have a chance to check out the TV appearance. We'll send out a link later this afternoon if you in fact didn't miss it. U.S. dollar index is steady to a little bit firmer overnight. Natural gas is firmer, but pulling off session highs similar to crude oil. It's higher, but pulling back from session highs overnight. Stock market a little bit weaker in here, while corn 3 3/4 higher. Beans up 3 1/4, and the wheat is 4 to 5 cents higher. This is a change from about 12 hours ago when we opened the overnight trade. And we'll talk about more of that here in a second, but certainly a lot of green on the screen, and there wasn't that much green not too long ago. So let's get into some of the news and some of the features in here. Let's start talking about the markets and remind you to follow us on Twitter, Midwest Markets, and at Brian Hoops, and you can visit our website to do so, MidwestMarketSolutions.com. All right, weather maps continue to call for nearly ideal growing conditions across the Corn Belt. 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 day calls for above normal temps and precip through July the 21st. We've updated our weather maps in our newsletter, and it'll show you exactly what the 6-10 day is looking at. It's expected by the 20th of July, another week or so. 50% of the nation's corn crop will have pollinated, and there is some concerns about pollination. There's some videos and pictures on Twitter circulating of crops that have gone through the pollination and don't look very good. Some of the ears look very poor. Looks good from the field as the corn stalk is tall and green and lush, healthy. But once you pull out the husk back, the ears do not look very good. Maybe that's why we've turned higher here in the overnight. President Trump announced 30% tariffs beginning August the 1st against Mexico and the EU. Now, these two countries are two of the biggest corn customers of the U.S. corn and grains overall. Since China has bought nothing from the United States, the European Union has slowly taken one of their places as far as a great buyer of U.S. corn. Of course, Mexico is the number one buyer of U.S. corn. EU did announce that they would not retaliate with any tariffs, and that is helping the grain markets recover as well overnight. As there's not retaliatory tariffs, they are working to try and reach an agreement with the United States rather than enter into a tariff war. So we did see overnight grains gap lower for the second consecutive Sunday last night for the grain markets. Unlike the first time, which was last Sunday, we have found some support, made new lows for corn and beans, and then recovered to close back on the plus side. Maybe part of it is because the EU has agreed to not retaliate, and they're going to try and work something out. I think also part of it could be pollination news here is not very bearish. In fact, if the crop has had some pollination issues because the temperatures being too warm in the evenings, that is going to reduce our yields. Brazil's second corn harvest, 26% done, well behind last year's pace and the average pace. It's a big crop, and it's taking a long time to harvest. They've had a little bit of harvest delays in addition. Tomorrow, NOPA crush report comes out at 11 o'clock Central Time. Of course, this afternoon we'll have crop progress and conditions. Ed is expected to show improvement. Maybe. I think you're probably going to see a decline, but we've had a lot of rain last week or so, so you might see some improvement in the eastern belt with steady conditions in the west. Fed cash cattle trade last week, it was pretty active. We saw 238 to 241 live and 380 dress, so $8 to $9 higher live, $10 higher dress. That is much, much higher than what the trade had anticipated early in the week. And in the south, we're 228 to 230 live. That's $2 to $5 better. Cash trade, not going to be that strong this week. We're talking steady to probably a little bit softer. August is still discount even after a rally on Friday. So I think you're going to see more two-sided trade this week in the cattle futures. Market just is going to struggle here. The cutout values have not kept up. In fact, Choice was down 509 last week. Select was off almost $7.50. I think that is going to weigh on the cash trade this week. We're going to be steady, possibly lower in the cash markets. Have a great day, everyone. Good luck, and as always, good trading. We'd love to talk markets with you. This has been Brian Hoops from Midwest Market Solutions. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.